wasteland, and Merry New Year to you all. I'm going to try to keep things a little on the quieter side for those of you that are probably nursing hangovers from getting a little wild, because again, it is the New Year, so Merry New Year to everybody. This is part 2 and the finale of Let's Build a Settlement here at the Red Rocket Truck Stop. In the last episode, we made some serious headway with getting up these walls, building a little security with some spotlights. We got ourselves a nice grand door, and the beginnings of a heck of a guard tower up there. And we are not even close to being done with putting that thing together. So let's go ahead and jump right into part 2. Alright, so up here we can see we got some sandbags for some fortification. We got some, I don't know, metal panels back here just in case, but we're gonna never have to worry about that because nobody's getting into this bad boy. Alright, so we're going to jump right into Hodgepodge because we need to get part 2 of that section there. And we're going to go into house set and walls. And what is this? Warehouse. We want coived. Yeah, want some more of these bad boys. You'll see exactly what I got planned in a second. Let me turn off my surface snapping there. We're going to keep our regular snapping in place. No, snap to that. Snap to this. And we're already off to a bad start. I did this in testing and it all went perfectly fine. There we go. Okay. And there's part number 2. Now you're saying, what the heck are you going to do with that? Well, we're going to come up this side. We're going to boop the heck out of this. Get it all the way up there as high as you can possibly get it so that we can create a nice little peekaboo zone here. Of course, now I'm stuck. There we go. Now look at that. So one of you had commented on the first video about, somebody could just toss a grenade up here. Sure, you could before, but now we're getting even smaller, so we don't really have to worry too much about that. So now that we have that in place, let's just go make sure we're not poking up out of the roof in any kind of ugly way. Nope, we are golden. So now we're going to grab that guy. Boom! Just love when you snap like that. Perfect. Got the exact look we were looking for. Like I said, our sandbag fortification. We got this nice little narrow slit so that we can protect ourselves. And now we're going to go a step further. We're going to go into some metal textures. Scrap pieces. And we're going to have to scroll all the way through all this stuff. We don't want any of these. We want something with some holes in it so we can actually see what's going on. All the way towards the end. I think I'm in the right spot. We'll find out in a second. No, I'm not. I love it when that happens. I don't know. Let's see what we got on the chain link thing. Oop. There we go. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Throw up some of this mesh. Rotate it just for some fun. Don't necessarily have to line them up, but I'm just doing it just because we can. We're going to throw some of this over here. I'm going to put this one a little more towards the inside, so it looks like we actually just kind of like mounted it here. And this one I'm not even going to bother flipping or matching up. We're just going to, we took some scrap metal and just threw it up here. And we'll stick another piece like right here. So, we got bigger holes here so that we can aim a little easier. And then, of course, you got the little holes that if need be, you can pew out of. See? Nice. Alright. Now that we have that, we need some guards here. So we're going to go to USO, make a couple of guard mats. Right into here. Guard posts. And we want... yeah, a couple of these guys. We'll turn back our surface snapping back on. That guy facing like that. We'll stick this guy. Right here. They don't have to be even. It doesn't really matter. And just to save time, because we cannot... I can put up a thing. I'm actually going to do a real quick save, too. To make it one of the... Sorry, my brain's not working this morning. Something to call settlers. We're not going to bother doing that. We're just going to make them ourselves. Okay, let's see. Game shop. Spawn settler. We're just going to spawn 2 random settlers for now. Each one of those. There we go.
Yes.
Alright. You. You can go to that one. And you in the hat. Go that one. So, they may or may not eventually get there, but, you know. There we go. Look how cool that looks. Got some nice metal grating going on. Looks fantastic. And of course, they're just going to kind of stand there. I don't know if they're ever going to find their way. Maybe, maybe not. Whatever. Alright. So that part we're going to kind of consider done. I might do a little decorating in there, but now I got to tackle this because this has been bugging the heck out of me. Get rid of these cones because we don't want either one of those. Get rid of that. Get to this tire. Okay, now we can. There we go. And we're going to go back into the Kuru tab. Structural. Starter structures. I saw something in here. Yeah, this is really cool. Except that's not the one I wanted. That's the guy I wanted right there. So we're going to put this right here in front of our door. Now we have a store. And that blocks off this entire door. And if they want, when they're in here, they can just close up shop for the day. Of course, we're going to have to adjust that because now we're kind of poking through. So we'll fix that real quick. Just a couple love taps. Good. Excellent. Alright. So now we have a store. And we got ourselves a nice little counter here. Trying to decide if I want to actually like fully block this door and block that off. I'm thinking maybe we'll just kind of leave this as is, and I will in fact block off the door here. I'm gonna stick something in there. Something that looks a little nicer. I don't like any of those. Let's go over to the metal textures and corrugated. That's one of my favorites. Grab one of these bad boys. There we go. Turn off that. Turn off that. And we're just gonna shove this like in the doorway. Perfect. Scooch it over a little. So now that's totally blocked. So now if you want to get anything, you gotta come over here for customer service, and when they're being attacked or whatever, all they gotta do is close the door. But now we've got ourselves a nice little store. Of course, we need a mat for that because I don't think... Yeah, this one is not assignable. So we're going to make this, I don't know, an anything junk store, whatever. Let's see, a trader... Trader dealers? I mean, we're going to go to a trader. Okay. And we'll just stick the mat there. We'll have to do it again where we make our own person to assign to that. So let's go ahead and get that done real quick. Cheap terminal. Workshop. Spawn settler. Rando. Don't care who or what you are. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey. Get back here. You. Get to work. Oh, look at that. She's got a little bandana across her face. Cool. Alright. So now we've got a store. Really? Get in there.
Sure.
There we go. Sort of. Cool. That works. Okay. So now that we got that, you know what? Let's stick some lights in here. Let's go back to USO. And some ceiling lights. I like these guys. Just gonna randomly stick a few there. Perfect. There. And then, you know what? We're going to go to decorations. And... decoration pack, maybe? Let's try OC decorator. And let's put something in here. Nah. Entertainment, kitchen, and dining. Dog bowl. Why not? And dog bowl we're gonna sell. We got a pot to sell. Camera. They're just gonna throw all kinds of rando stuff up here. Clock. Perfect. Some Abraxo cleaner, I guess. Right about there. Stick some fuel. Right about there. Cool. Alright, we got a store. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Do a little cleanup here. And we're going to be building a wall around this whole section here. Oh, no, wait. I was going to do that back here, I think. Because I want to turn this into a little garden area. So let's go ahead and... This is going to be our outdoor space. So let's clean this up just a little bit. And for now, stick you in here because I don't know if I'm going to keep you or not. But we got to build some walls because we're closing off this area. And I think my initial plan was I was going to close off from here and wrap around there. But we can no longer do that because now we have a store there. So we're actually going to use some walls to make walls. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. Instead of using something like the junk walls, we're actually going to come in and we're going to start off with using something like this. That's going to be the basis for the start of our wall that goes around. Of course, we want something with a little more protection here. We could probably turn snapping back on. There we go. And then come around the corner here. Actually, this could work for the moment. I don't think I'm going to keep a door here, but this is really more just to kind of help set up. We're going around the corner there. Let's go ahead and throw one of those in there, and then we can take these guys out. This way I don't have to fight with trying to place things. Let's see, we're going to go with some unpainted. Throw a random random wall up in here too. And we're also going to switch over to some good old-fashioned junk fences too once we get some stuff in here. Because I don't want this whole thing to be all just walls. I mean, we could, but gotta have some variety. Back in here. Let's see, fences. There we go. Junk fence. Yeah, we'll place one of these guys like right here. Perfect. Now we're getting some variety in here. Of course, we need some whatchamacallit, some barbed wire. Let's see, I do have a corner piece, right? Where's my corner? Where's my corner? There's my corner. Let's go ahead and let's take out that tire. Obviously, we don't want that. Maybe even this. A little bit of that. Because I'm going to have to come over this way. And this is going to be our door that allows us to exit out. So pretty much all this is going to go, or at least get moved at some point. So let's go ahead and line up our corner piece. So that's just going to end up being a walkway on the walkway. And we'll fill in that gap afterwards. Now, we want, we're going to need some narrow-walled stuff. Go ahead and pop that guy in there. Just get over there. Move these out of the way for now. I'll decide again if I'm going to keep them or not. To definitely get rid of the majority of the garbage, huh? Excellent. Okay. What else we got? Give me that guy. That one in place. Push that over. Just make sure that we have enough room to get through here. Perfect. Now that's too high. That guy down. Just like that. Excellent. Okay. What else we got? That is a gate. We don't want the gates. We want... textures, maybe. I'll find some of these narrow ones again. Ooh, I like that guy. That one's all metal. Let's get rid of that. Shouldn't smoke, kids. Very bad for you. Okay, and I know we're kind of swinging out this way, but that's fine. I kind of want to a little bit, so we'll corrugate it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, you're wasting your time trying to make these all perfect. Actually, you know what? We're going to get rid of that. Then you're just going to have a bad time. Alright. Back into here. Now we're going to play around with some more of these guys, too. Well, yeah, I guess we'll go back to the warehouse walls. There's not going to be any door here other than, you know, the door to get into and out of the building, but there's going to be no way to access the outside here. So, you know, maybe turn that off. Put this guy just at an angle like that. Zip. Yeah, we want that guy instead. Plug them in like so. Excellent. Now, I had mentioned that I was thinking about building up on top. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I haven't decided yet. We're going to get rid of this guy. Get rid of that guy. Get rid of that because that just looks like trouble. Clean up some trash. And now we've got a gap over here we got to fill. So we're just going to kind of just throw a random wall piece in there. Who cares? Nice. Let's get that out of our way. And trash. The trash. Excellent. Then maybe we'll stick like some barbed wire fencing up there just in case somebody gets the idea to try and hop up here and hop over the fence. Probably a good idea to do another save in the bush, apparently. I'm going to jump right back into it. Okay. So now this is going to be where we're going to put all of our outdoor resources. And I suppose I could put like a set of stairs to lead up to right here to get up there. And actually that gives me a fantastic idea. So let's go ahead and check out some stairs. Maybe we'll... That's not long enough. We're going to need probably the wood stairs to get up here. Back over to wood. Whoops, wood. Yeah, we're just going to go for some standard wood stairs for a change. And I'm going to stick that, I don't know, about there for now. Let's see, I have snapping turned off, right? Yeah. Okay. Stuck. Here we go. Let's see. That might work. But I think we're actually going to bring this over because I don't want to crowd that whole thing over there. Maybe right about there. As I turned it off. Ah. Pushing buttons and I don't even realize it sometimes. And yeah, we gotta straighten this out. Oof, that was terrible. That's better. Oops. There we go. Alright, so now that we got that, we need a little section of floor to connect to. I want something a little chunkier. Yeah, there we go. Oh, look at that. That, like, perfectly lined up with that, so it looks like that is on top of there. Awesome. Alright, let's get rid of some of our garbage up here. Instead of building a building, we are going to put one big giant garden up here. If I can do it. Let us see. We need resources, planters. Ooh, look at that bad boy. Alright. We'll just maybe stick a bunch of planters up here so we can stick our garden up here. And then this way they get full sun, like, all day long. How cool is that? Let's boop that up, though. That looks a little... Let's turn our surface snapping on, too. That should help us get this lined up a little better. So the only downside is that if it's not raining, you gotta haul the water way the heck up here. So, let's... and maybe we'll even build a greenhouse up here, too. You know what? Scooch you all the way over to the edge. Let's see if we can maybe fit 4 of these guys here. I want to leave room, obviously, in between them so that they can walk. Something like that, and then, yeah, we got a 4th. Awesome sauce. Nice. Then maybe put these a little closer so that we have a center space here that we can get through to get to the back section, because we're going to build some more. I'm just going to load this up, because we got the room. We're going to have lots of veggies. I've always told my wife, because we build a garden every single year, that got to make sure that we get a hold of, if we know that something's going to happen, get a hold of cucumber seeds, because cucumbers, like, as long as you got water, you got cucumbers. Like, those things just insanely grow sometimes, and more often than not, we have more cucumbers than we know what to do with it, which is why I pickle a lot of them. Yeah, I'm never going to get these. Let me try. Turn my grid on. That helped. They're still a little funky. Yeah, that's locked. And whatever. It is what it is. Alright, cool. So now we got some garden space, and think I am going to actually build a little greenhouse up here. So, I don't know, I keep leaving USO because we're doing a lot of stuff in USO. So we're going to come back up here. Need a floor. I'm just going to build a simple little guy. Maybe a twofer. Go one there, one there. Yeah, that's a pretty decent size for a greenhouse. I want to back that up. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Alright, let's turn our snapping off. Let's get this maybe lined up with that. Perfect. Okay. And we need the glass doors because we're making a greenhouse. Glass walls. Really tripping on my words today. Excellent. Okay. We need roofs. Should I do a slanty one? Kind of like thinking a slanty one, and then we'll just fill in the top with some stuff here. Back to the wall section, yeah. Get that guy. Get that guy. And that guy. We don't want holes. Holes are bad. Boom. Look at that. We got ourselves a nice little greenhouse. Alright. So now that we got that, let's get some plants in here. Resources. Food. I like the big ones, because they're more visible. Oh, look at that. I still got my grid on. That's kind of cool. As I've said in other videos, I like to rotate them just so that it doesn't look so cookie cutter, essentially. Even if it's, you know, one or two turns, we go, oops, let's go back to that guy. Squeeze 3 more in here, I think we can. Get in there. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, let's put some gourds in this guy. Why not? Some melons. I tried growing melons once. One of the tricks to growing melons is once you start actually getting it to grow, you only want to grow like 1 melon per vine. That way your plant puts all of its effort into making that one big watermelon, essentially. And mine, because I don't really live in a hot climate, didn't come out so well. I mean, it sort of did. We got like 1 melon, but it wasn't, you know, that great. I think only maybe half of it was edible. You know, it never got really out of the white phase in the center. Only gonna do 6 on that guy. What else we got? Barberries, that's not good. Ooh, gourds. Why not? One like that. And one like that. Excellent. What else we got? Wild corn. No, we already got corn. Something different. I have some fever blossom. I just like it because it looks neat. Again, we'll do the same thing with this. Rotate them. Oops, a doodle. Nice! Got a rooftop garden. Excellent. What else we got? Ooh, fun stuff. Let me put this down in here. That looks like it fits, maybe. Stick that there. Perfect. And maybe I'll even stick some doors onto this thing or something at some point. We'll see. Kind of running out of time here. I don't like to go past a certain amount of time. Alright, so now we've got a garden. So let's go ahead and do a save. Perfect. Jump right back into this. And let's see, we want... What do we want to do? Workshop decoration pack, I think. Yeah. WDP. We're going to go into gardening. Perfect. This is all going to go in here. If I can get in there. There we go. For our greenhouse. Another one right here. Leave a little room so we can get into that corner. And stick this guy here. And, ooh, we can even throw a bathtub out here too if we want. Right there. Why not? We can do it. We can do whatever we want. That one looks like it's got weeds. We'll stick that one there. What else we got in here? More growing stuff. We don't really want that. Scarecrow? Why not? Let's stick them right there. Happy little scarecrow. Perfect. Wheelbarrow. Of course, we're going to need a wheelbarrow. We'll just kind of put that there as well. You know what? I'm going to put one with stuff in it. So let's get rid of that. And right there. Excellent. Okay. Plop. So I went through all the trouble of making all my garden. We need some people to farm it. So let's do a save real quick. I haven't done a save in a while. And let's make, I don't know, 3 or 4 more people. We're going to need a lot of beds. Alright. Workshop manipulation, spawn settlers. We won't go too crazy. Uh-oh. Stuck. There we go. Alright. We got 2.
Yes.
Let's see if they auto-assign themselves here. Be nice. Yes, they did. Fantastic. We now have 12 food for 5 people. Alright, we need some water. Resources, water. Nothing too big and fancy. I would love to use this, but it's not going to fit in here. I mean, I suppose I could drop it there, but no, we're going to go a little more classic. So we actually have to go to USO for that. And resources and water. And water pump. Perfect. I think, was that the style? It was one of these. I'm trying to decide which one was the one that I just saw in episode 2 of season 2 of Fallout. Yeah, on Prime. But we don't need anything that bad. We're just going to go for like this guy here. Let's move that out of the way. Move this over here. And get this guy over here. Corner. Oh, it's not going to let me put it there. Oh, you stink. Alright, hang on. Let's see if I can trick it now. There you go. And apparently I've already got power going. I think I put a wireless power. Oh, I did. Yeah, okay. So no, we got water. We got 10 water. So that's nice. And you know, let's turn that around that way. Like that. A little better. Now we're going to line it up with that square. Boom! Alright, we got water. We don't need that. Need that. Take that guy. And we're going to keep that, so we're just going to stick that over there. We're going to get rid of this after all. Okay, what was over here? Yes, the chemistry station. We're probably going to want to keep this guy too. So let's turn our surface snapping on, make our lives a little easier. Whoa! I think that's facing the right way. Is that facing the right way? That is not. Now it is. Perfect. Anything else up here in the air? Did not. Okay, cool. So now we've got food, we've got water, we got chemistry, and an armor station. And we got ourselves our little access to our door here so we can get in and out to our garden. You see our doggy. And we got our little office here. And those two are still just standing there. That door is blocked off. We want to open for business. To do that, say howdy. Cool. Alright. Now, we are going to do some stuff on the inside here because it is very dark and empty. Excuse me. You guys need to get to work. Okay. Let's put some lights in here. So actually, yep, let's go back to USO. Once again, I don't know why I keep leaving. Alright, ceiling lights. Let's just put a bunch of these down the center. Who cares? Right? They put off a pretty decent amount of light. Just keep going like that. Line them up with these lines here. Just to make our lives a little easier. Right about there. And there. And yeah, why not up here too? This way these guys aren't in the dark. Because we don't want too much light for them, because then it makes them easier targets. But you know what? Who cares? They're not even working anyway. They're not up there doing their job, so... Look at how much brighter it is in here. Love it. Okay. Now, let's go back to the crew tab, structural. And we're going to go to the starter structures again, because there are some actually cool things in here. I got the bus station thing, which is actually really cool. Maybe they, in fact, dragged over a whole bus station. Let's look at this guy. Let's turn off. No, well, yeah, I want to turn that off, too. Might have just turned that back on, actually. There we go. Yeah, that is pretty cool looking. So maybe we'll use that. We'll think about that. We already used that guy. We got just a regular crate. Yeah, this is kind of what I was thinking. We need a shack. And we're going to stick maybe the shack over here. Let's just put it there for the moment. And I'm going to go up, 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 up. There we go. And that looks pretty decent. A little crooked here. Nice. And now we've got a little house for somebody to live in. Look at that. It even has its own little stoves and stuff. We just need some beds for that. I'll actually come back in here because I want to see if there's another small something I can fit in here. That one's definitely too big. Well, that one's not bad. See if we can squeeze in. I don't know if I'm going to keep this one, but... Nah, we don't really have the room here because of that and that. So we'll take that guy out of there, but we do have room here. I don't want to fill in this whole thing with houses, and I don't really care too much if that goes in on that. We're just trying to make some space for our people to have houses so they can have beds. Okay, let's see, how does that look? Oh yeah, that's not too bad. Come in here, you got a little house. Over here, you got a little house. Perfect. Okay. Got our start of a little community here. Okay, what else we got in here? Little houses, yurts, way too big. Yurt pieces. Interesting. I don't think we can use any of those. Alright. So now that we have that, let's try and get some beds in here. There we go. Sleeping furniture, beds. I want something on the small side, because this is pretty tiny. Bunk beds? Not necessarily. Let's see. Pillows, sleeping bags, maybe. That's all they have. Nah, I want to give them something a little nicer. Let's see. How big is this thing if we put it in here? Yeah, that takes up like the whole thing. Alright, maybe not that. What else is in here? That's like the tiniest thing. Maybe we'll just use a regular, good old-fashioned pre-made bed from the game itself. A little mattress on the floor or something in the kitchen area or something. Like, you know what? Maybe we'll just stick it over here. It's like what you see as soon as you walk in the door. Who cares? As long as there's a bed. Alright, you come over in here, and then we need like a tiny little table. Actually, we're going to go back to Thematic, and we need tables. Rah. Need little guy. Little guy, I said. No. Not really finding what I'm looking for. Alright, let's check maybe CVC. Furniture. Actually, what do they have for beds? I know there's... Whoops, no, we don't want that. Ground. That's supposed to be a bed? That's terrible. Okay. Anyway, chairs, tables. That's the little dude I'm looking for. Let's go ahead and make that and stick it over here in the corner. Perfect. Chairs, seats. Yeah, we'll give him a comfy little seat. Just stick that guy right there. Perfecto. Now we go back over to USO decorations, candles. Give him a little candle light. See something while he's eating. You know what? Maybe got a little fancy. Found that out in the wastes. Found a little friend too. Perfect. Got ourselves a nice little house. Okay, and I want, yeah. Turn on our surface snap. I'm gonna stick that there, because we can. Okie dokie. Now we need to go back to CVC. I want some more beds from here. Furniture, beds. Ooh, that's perfect. Stick this guy like right here in the corner. Perfect. And then chairs. Ooh, little guy. I like it. Stick that right there. And whoops, too far. Table. Now we're gonna use that same table just because that works. And then I'm gonna fill this in with a little wall section. And this will be the entryway. Perfect. Alright, we need, I guess, yeah, we'll come into and use a regular half wooden wall. These guys, perfect. And we're just gonna kind of, I should have one that's got a line to it. Perfect. It's gonna overlap them. Nice. All right. Now we've got room. We can actually move our table. We have a little more space here. I'll put our chair off on an angle because we can. Why not? Okay. Now that we have that, let's do a little stove for these people. Where am I going? Crafting. There we go. Chemistry, cooking. Yeah. You all know what's coming. Let's see if we can get it to work here. This in the corner. Ooh. Very close. Let's see how that looks if that works on the other side. Nice! Alright, so if you've never seen this before, I do this all the time with these particular stoves. I like to stick them through the wall so these pipes come out. And then we're going to go into Woody's Wasteland. And decorations and the fireplace sections. And we're going to stick a fireplace pipe on here. Like so. I do have one that sits on an angle. I don't know if I have the... Yeah, I don't like that. Again, see, that's not going to work either. Okay, so we're just going to take it as is, and then we're going to turn our snapping pack on. Whoops, it was on. Whoops. Hey, it's not snapping. What gives? Probably because of how close it is to the wall, but that's okay. Normally, I don't do it so that the smoke comes out on the wall there like that. Usually I'll take it like all the way up to the roof, but that's going to be one really seriously long pipe. So that's just to give you an idea of how that works and what I like to do. Alright. Get out of my way. Now we have a fully functional stove. And I know it's cut off into that a little bit, but it is what it is. You know, if you worry so much about everything being perfect, you're going to drive yourself crazy trying to get everything in there just right. This dude's got some electricity. Nice. Got a bed, got a table, he's got a stove. Let's give him some food. Decorations. Let's see. Food and drink. Give you a little something something. Let's see. Yeah. That works. Stick that right up against the thing there. Of course, we'll fix that because that just looks awful. Let's see, can you get in here? That might be too big. Alright, let's get rid of that one. The fridge actually probably will work a little better. We'll stick the fridge like right like that, because then you can still be over here cooking. And you got your fridge with your foods. Nice. Alright, door time. Doors. No doors in here? I guess not. Alright, back to USO then. Grab a couple of doors real quick. Alright. Doesn't really matter if they snap or not, because I don't think they would snap anyway. So we want something with some privacy. There we go. Give this guy a metal door. We'll have to check to make sure that that actually snaps outwards. We don't really have the room to go inwards on these. Perfect. Oh, we do. Oh, of course that one messed up. Alright, let's fix that. Just take that and rotate it. Perfect. Okay. Let's see. Now that we have done that, we have no lighting in here, fortunately. I know! What the heck? Even dog meat's like, dude, get to it. Lights, ceiling, we're just gonna cheap out and just throw a bunch of these rando guys just because they're handy and they put out a crap ton of light everywhere you might need it. Perfect. Okay. Now let's get rid of this. All of that. That. Let's turn our highlighting back on so I don't accidentally delete the whole building. I have done that numerous times. So, we could probably leave that. And that. Why not? Definitely going to leave that because that's cool. Alright. Back into here. Sleeping furniture. Here we're going to put a bunk bed. Because this will help out with multiple people. So we're just going to stick this guy. You know, maybe we'll do it here. I don't want it there. We'll put it up against the back wall. Who cares? We'll get the upper level. Boom, we got bunk beds. We have almost enough beds for everybody. This is going to be a nice little private bedroom here for, well, 2 people anyway. And let's see. We got so much storage crap back here. Get rid of the crap. Nice. I love when they fall down like that. Plop. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Let's get rid of that too. Take out the trash. Nice. Okay, we're gonna go into, whoops, Snappy. And Housekit. And there we go, Red Rocket. Interior walls, perfect. And I'm gonna put, oh, let's see if we can get rid of that. Yeah, we don't want that. That there. That. What is that? What wall is that? Oh, that's a corner piece. I want half wall. There we go. Now let's make sure that we're not interfering with anything. Excuse me, dog meat. That's fine. I'm not gonna fuss over that. Apparently I'm delivering the newspaper. Alright. So now we've got that. Let's go back into CVC. And furniture. And beds. And let's see what else we got in here. Interesting. Ooh, I like that. That's gonna be our bed. Nice! We got beds for everybody. We'll put that there. Perfecto. What do we got for chairs? I kind of like that guy. That's kind of fun. Stools. Nah. Benches. Oh, bench. Nah. Oh, I kind of like that guy. That one's neat. I'm just gonna like randomly throw. You know what? We're gonna put the chair here. Perfect. And then we're gonna go into creative clutter. Rooms, bedroom, clutter. Turn our snapping off there. And let's get, yeah. This is gonna be where we set our alarm clock. So it's actually not gonna be a chair. It's actually, maybe we want to do that because I want to go to book. That way we can lull ourselves to sleep at night. Perfect. And just because I'm a nice guy, we'll put some decorations in this one. Let's see. Nice painting for them to stare at. Right there. Put a little guy right there. There we go. Now we got ourselves a nice little homely little extra bedroom. Okie dokie. Can't do anything with that. I was gonna say maybe we can straighten that bad boy out. I don't feel like we really need to do much in here either. We're just gonna kind of keep this as our basic garage. I was thinking of maybe doing a couple of doors on the outside here. Let's look into that real quick. I won't commit myself to anything specifically, but I'm going here. There we go. Let's see. Put this here. That went the wrong way. Okay. Ooh, now as we can see, I need to do something about the ground there too, because we are kind of all over the place with that. Maybe we can take that, put that like that. Get in just a smidgen. Alright, let's see. Obviously, I'm gonna have to do something there. Oh, that means you can't get out. We did the same in this one here. What else we got? These are just different shapes. Okay. Let's see if we did one going each way. Let's just see how this looks before I decide to commit to it or not. Yeah, you can come into the store. That person can't get out. He'd be trapped in there forever. There's no other way of getting in and out of there.
I need to assign
Oh, I can just take that out. I forgot I put that there. What a dummy. Hey, there we go. Now our doors work. Okay. Not exactly big enough and whatnot, but we don't really care, do we? I mean, I don't. You do. Sorry. But actually, I'm gonna fix my gapping here and there, which is good, and then we'll just kind of stick like a random piece of something in there. So actually, let's go back up into USO, of course, again. And let's see. No, I want to go to... No. Really? I thought I had... Oh, not USO, dummy. Back over here. And now into metal. And miscellaneous. Not that, of course. Yeah, we use something like this guy. Look at that. That works. Cool. Alright. We are open for business. Nice. Oh yeah, thinking about putting some Barbie wire up there or something. So let's go into fences, wire. Not quite what I'm looking for. No. Maybe over in CVC or something. CVC, fences, Barbie wire. Thinking something a little more dramatic. Metal, no. Concrete car fence. Armor, no, definitely not that. Wooden fence. That's too big. No, not quite. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Snappers. Nah. Deer fences. Nah. Alright, I think I'm probably going to go with the original one I found. Okay. All the way back to... There we go. Barbed wire. We want, yeah, something like that guy. Maybe. I don't know. Not really giving you much protection there. We'll do something like so. Yeah, whatever. Alright, actually, we'll check one last thing, too. We're going to go into defense and guard posts. I'm gonna see if I have anything in here. I can just kind of randomly stick up top there that might help. This is kind of actually what I was thinking of, but of course now that's just way too big. Those are pretty gnarly. Ooh. I'm just gonna plop one of these guys up top. Nice. Just randomly throw a bunch of these up there. This way nobody ever gets the idea of trying to climb up on top of my store. Perfect. Okay. Now, one last little touch before we're done. Resources, power, natural power, solar. We're going to stick some solar power, some solar panels up here. As we can. Now, do I want to try to do something kind of fun like satellite? Maybe? Nah, we're just going to use regular solar panels. Maybe I'll stick like one guy up here or something. Let's see. Yeah, let's turn our grid on. Let's make sure these are lining up the way they should be. Oh my goodness! I have to boop that down. Otherwise, it's just going to sit there looking kind of funny. This one probably too, yeah. Zoop. Okay. We'll stick that one there. We'll do one here. Good. I'll just kind of boop these down. Alright, let's step back and look. Oh my goodness, they're crooked as heck. There we go. The grid thing wasn't gridding, apparently. Alright, we're going to turn off the grid snapping because that's just not doing it. This way we can get these lined up a little better. Yeah, a bit more. Okay. Now we'll bring this guy over. And this way we can keep these looking a little more uniform, I guess. Nice. Look at all this good use of this roof space up here. We got solar panels, we got garden, then down here we got some water, we got our fabrication stuff. I'm thinking maybe I'll stick like one post into the ground to help support that or something. So, let's... Oh, we're probably going to need some railings for that too. Okay, let's go ahead and... What? Use one of these. Where am I going? Miscellaneous. Yeah! Perfect. Nope, wrong one. There we go. Turn our snapping back on. Yeah, that's what I'm going to use. I don't care. Alright, and then... Whoops. Right back into USO again. And let's see... Some railings. Yeah, we're just going to go with some plain Jane wood. Who cares? Perfect. Alright. Look at this bad boy. I am very proud of this one, and once again I have to give a big shout out to Shazo for their idea on this and finally give me something to work with this place, because as I've said before, I never ever know what to do with this location, and putting these walls up was such a cool idea, and I'm just so awesome I stumbled across that video to get this idea. And yeah, we can come on out here. We got our store. We got everything. I'm just going to leave this because why not? We don't need to go too crazy. I mean, I could decorate the heck out of this thing and spend 10 hours doing it to get all kinds of whatnot, but we don't need to do that. Let's come out here. Come on up here. We got gardening. Love it. Cool. Alright, folks. Oh no! We gotta fix this. I can't leave it like this. Especially if I'm gonna make this available for you guys to download if you're on PC. And, you want this. I'm probably, at some point, eventually going to make this settlement available for download. I don't know when, but at some point. Nice. Oop, I'm outside. Alright, folks. That is going to do it for this episode. I thank you all so much for joining me on this little short adventure of my holiday special and my New Year's special. We built an entire settlement in 2 episodes. We got power, we got water, we got people, we got beds for once, so we are all set. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Until then, don't get irradiated.